Hello mentors, for the final time, or the final set of videos. Anyway, this is Jack the Lad once again from the Love Local Jobs Foundation. I hope this finds you well and your families are all safe and well. I hope you have enjoyed your first two mentoring sessions that you've had with your students. We've covered quite a lot of ground, haven't we, really, with some of the topics and some of the skills and attributes that we've been talking about that we're trying to get the students to implement into their lives to help them not only become a better person, but a much more attractive possible future employee for hopefully one of your companies and one of your businesses. This is the last time that you will be hearing from me on this little section of videos. And we're going to talk about something really important coming up in this next set of videos about the thing that we're all looking for more than anything, and I won't tell you what that is just yet. But I thought before we do that, ahead of your final mentoring session and the final time that you get to meet online virtually with your students, it would be interesting to just go through some of the key things that we've been through over the last two times that we've met on all of these videos, or the last two sort of lots of videos, if you will. And these have been really some of the key things that we've spoken to the students about, and that you've been mentoring the students about, in the hope and in the belief that they're going to take a load of this on board and they're going to use all of these attributes in the best possible way they can. So, I mean, in no particular order, but we talked about being resilient, you know, having the ability to keep moving forward. When things are stacked against you, you're not going to let it stop you. You know, I mean, you've got to keep moving. You've got to be tough. You've got to be tough when everything is against you and just get over them barriers and get through them barricades. We talked about the importance of identity, understanding who you are and accepting that, you know, and accepting the fact that you shouldn't have to follow people around like a sheep, if you will. The fact that the people that see you for who you are, the people that see you for the ability and the talent and the promise that you have, and the people that like you as you are the people you should keep close. And that is the beauty of your identity, because once you understand who you are, you've got a head start over everybody else that is still trying to be something for other people. You know, once you understand who you are, you like what you see, and you've accepted your DNA, essentially, the fact that you're in a great position to start moving forward and taking on the world. Identity was big for me, as you probably could have seen from the way that I presented it. Not all about grades was another thing that we talked about a lot, both me in the schools and then you guys when you've been mentoring the students as well. The fact that a grade doesn't define who you are. You know, you get all the grades you want, you know, but if you don't have them personable, employable skills, then you're going to struggle. And you can go and get a 2-1 or a first in a degree, but if you haven't got those personal skills, if you can't show empathy, if you can't show support to someone in your team when they need it, if you can't dig your heels in when you need to dig your heels in and really knuckle down and work, then you might well struggle. It's all about the fact that a grade doesn't define what these students are going to be and who they are. Dreaming big, we talked about when we had our I had my second sort of chat with the students in the schools under that Inspire umbrella, and the fact that you remember the great Jim Carrey giving that wonderful speech where he says you can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. That is all about not settling for second best just because people tell you that you have to, and also the fact that you can fail doing something you don't even want to do. And the fact that your aspirations and your dreams should be big and you should not be afraid to chase them down. So we talked about that a lot. Being job interview ready. Did they get the question right? Because you'll remember I said I gave you a question to ask them on the last set of videos, which was, what is the one thing they should never ever do in a job interview? And if I'm a betting man, and I'm not, I don't gamble, I would imagine that 99.9% of them got that right. We went through a few of the things, the 7 deadly sins, weren't there, for the job interview, about being dishonest and being uninformed and whatnot. We chatted about that, the self-awareness thing, which again is very big for me. The fact that who you are and the way you treat people says a lot about you, not just as a person, but as a future employee. And the fact that I struggled a lot with bullies when I was at school, and the fact that you need to understand the impact of what you're doing to that person. If you are a bully, if you're being mean to someone, how heavy that impact could be, and how heavy that could weigh on them for quite a long time in their life. And the fact that being kind is actually a really decent thing to do. Leaving the comfort zone, we talked about on the last set of videos, that I chatted you with, not being afraid to get out from a place where you feel safe and you feel secure, and not being afraid to get out of that place and to actually go out and test yourself and to push yourself and to really try and sort of figure out just how far you can go, and at the same time not being afraid to go back a step every now and then if it's getting too much, but not allowing yourself to stay there for too long until you leave the comfort zone again and decide to push yourself and go through all of them stops on that kind of little virtual train that I talked about. You go through the stops, fear and panic and criticism and negativity and stuff, and how it's not nice being there, but sometimes you have to be there for a little while just to learn a bit more about yourself, and the fact that you will fail when you leave your comfort zone, because we all do. And I talk to the students about not being afraid of failure. Failure is a tool to learn from. I got it wrong this time. How can I make it different next time? How can I improve next time? What do I do to ensure I don't make the same mistakes next time around? And then there was self-belief. When we heard from the brilliant Serena Williams, the world's greatest athlete, in my opinion, talking about the fact that no matter what stood in her way and all the people that were saying they didn't believe in her, she always believed in herself, and that she was always her biggest cheerleader, and she was the one that would look in the mirror and say, yes, Serena, you can do it. I believe in you. So those have been pretty much the main chunks of the content that we've talked about, and I've talked about with the students over the last 3 times I've been with them, or I might not have been in yet, I might be going in the near future, but they will all have been spoken to by me before your next virtual conference with them, virtual meeting if you will. And I thought what would be nice to start your next virtual chat with the guys with would be kind of a recap on all of that. Again, this will all be in the book list that we send you, so don't worry, you don't have to remember this stuff, word for word. These conversation starters that we have been sending you from the foundation, and maybe just bring these up, these 8 things, and have a chat with your student. And I'd really love for you to ask them, out of all of these, what are the things that have really resonated with them? What are the things that they think they've taken the most from these particular subheadings? Maybe it's the fact that they didn't understand how important being resilient was, but now they do. Maybe the fact that they didn't really believe in themselves, but now they know that's important and they're going to try harder. I'd really like for you to engage with them and find out from them the bits of the program that we've delivered to them, or that are going to be delivered to them, that have really stuck with them, because you get to see them after I have seen them. So they would have had all of this content, and I'd love for you to have a chat and find out what are the bits that have really resonated with them, have really stuck in here since they heard it, and things that they're going to go and work on. And listen, maybe as well, there's stuff in there from yourself, because I always say they're not questions, they're conversation starters. There might well have been things that you've heard on the program along the way, and things that young students have said to you that have made you think, as a mentor, well, do you know what, I could do better at that. I learn from this program all of the time. I learn all of the time. I have moments of self-doubt like we all do. I'm an anxious guy. I live with anxiety. I have moments of self-doubt. I have moments when I don't feel resilient. I had a really troubling year last year, which I won't bore you with, you know what I mean? But lots of heartbreak, and you have days where you think, I don't want to go on anymore today. I want to stay in bed. So I learn all the time, and I learn when I felt like that I've got to be more resilient. I've got to keep going. Is there stuff you've picked up on this journey we've been through? Because if there has, absolutely talk to the students about it, because I think they would love to hear that from you. You've gotten to know each other over the past few weeks, so have a nice chat. That'll be the first thing I'll ask you to speak about when you next see your student. A nice sort of 10-minute chat about the things that they've heard, the images they've seen, the videos they've seen over the course of the program that have really stuck with them. And on the next little video in this section, I'll be talking about, it is the most important thing of all, really, and that is happiness. I'll see you in a bit.